Picture this, Jane. You're in El Volcán, Estadio Universitario. It's electric. 40,000 souls roaring for Tigres, a team on an incredible unbeaten streak, a titan of Liga MX. They're facing a struggling Atlético San Luis, a match that on paper looks like a foregone conclusion. But then, the lineups are announced, and the two creative hearts of the team, Juan Brunetta and Lainez, are gone, just not there. What does that do to the soul of a champion?
It plants a seed of doubt, Joe. That's what it does. And that seed grew into a frustrating 1-1 draw that felt more like a loss for Tigres. This was Jornada 17 of the Apertura 2025, a match meant to be a victory lap before the playoffs. Tigres came in with a staggering 12-game unbeaten streak. San Luis, on the other hand, was sitting in 14th place, bleeding goals on the road. The betting odds didn't just favor Tigres, they practically demanded a dominant win.
Exactly. The script was written, but the lead actors were missing, and the entire narrative fell apart. We later learned Lainez was out with a last-minute muscle strain, a minor issue, but enough to sideline him. Brunetta, however, was reportedly a tactical decision. Rest, keep him fresh for the real fights in the Liguilla. A calculated risk that backfired spectacularly.
And you could feel their absence on the pitch from the first whistle. It was like watching an orchestra without its conductor. Brunetta is the metronome of that team. He dictates the tempo. His creativity is the engine. He was leading the team with 8 goals. Lainez brings that unpredictable spark, that ability to break a defensive line with a single touch. Without them, Tigres were predictable, pedestrian even.
That's the perfect word, pedestrian. The burden fell on the shoulders of the legend Andre-Pierre and Angel Correa. And while they are phenomenal players, the system they thrive in was suddenly unplugged. The service wasn't there. The intricate passing plays that usually dismantle defenses dissolved into hopeful crosses and long-range shots. San Luis just had to sit back, stay organized, and wait for the inevitable mistake.
Let's talk about that human element, the psychology of it. Imagine you're a player for San Luis. You've had a tough season. You're the clear underdog. You walk into that roaring stadium expecting to be steamrolled. Then you see the team sheet. No Brunetta, no Lainez. Suddenly, fear turns into hope. You start to think, wait a minute, we have a chance. It emboldens you. For the Tigres players, it's the opposite. It creates the subtle, corrosive pressure. We should win this easily, even without them. But now, every misplaced pass is magnified. Every missed chance feels heavier.
This is where we get into the deep analysis, the philosophy of coaching. Was resting Brunetta arrogance, or was it pragmatism? In the long run, having a fully fit Brunetta for a championship final is worth more than 3 points against a 14th place team. The problem is, football isn't played in the long run. It's played in 90-minute increments, where momentum is everything.
It's a classic case of a system being exposed by the absence of key individuals. It raises a huge question about Tigres' squad depth and tactical flexibility. For weeks, they looked like this invincible, fluid machine. But this match suggested they are critically dependent on 1 or 2 players to make that machine run. Take out those specific cogs, and the whole thing grinds to a halt. It's a vulnerability that every other coach in the playoffs just saw clear as day.
You know, it reminds me of that concept in systems theory, the single point of failure. Brunetta isn't just a great player, he's the central node through which their entire offense is processed. Without him, they had to revert to a different, less effective tactical approach. They couldn't play through the middle with the same invention. Everything was forced out wide, and it became a crossing game, which is much easier to defend against.
And it's a shame, because it overshadows what was a heroic performance from San Luis. They weren't just lucky, they were disciplined. They played with a collective spirit that was frankly missing from the home side. They earned that point. For them, a 1-1 draw at El Volcán is a massive victory, a story they'll tell. For Tigres, it's an alarm bell ringing loud and clear.
So, as we look ahead to the Liguilla, the real championship tournament, the narrative has shifted. The question is no longer, who can stop Tigres? The question is now, what is Tigres without its heart? This draw didn't cost them their playoff spot, but it may have cost them their aura of invincibility. They showed the league that the volcano can be silenced.
It's a powerful lesson. Talent is crucial, but dependence on that talent can be a fatal flaw. This wasn't just a dropped 2 points. It was a tactical and psychological stumble, a crack in the armor that could either galvanize them to be stronger or be the very weakness that brings their championship dreams to an end. We'll find out soon enough.
This podcast combines verified reports with expert analysis and narrative storytelling. Some dialogues may be dramatized for clarity, but all facts are sourced from credible media.